Hi, and thank you for tuning in to this video. And so today I'll be talking about simulating gravity in space. So have you ever thought of moving to space? Probably no, maybe yes, I don't know. But I have a solution for those ones that actually want to do it, want a living condition outside of Earth. So it's a rotating space station where we can have we can have we can live sustainably with solar powers while maintaining the needed gravity for our daily lives. But in order to imagine all of these things, we must first understand what really keeps us alive and to make our daily activities so easy. For starter, Earth has a strong atmosphere that provides us with oxygen, which we can already do that in the International Space Station. But the other thing that allows us to do whatever we want as an Earth person is, of course, gravity. And I trust gravity so much that I will bet my life on it. Just watch. This is a 5-pound plate, and I will drop it. And I trust it with my life. I trust science with my life. This is a 5-pound plate, and I will drop it right now, and I trust it with my life. But how is gravity created? And can we simulate one in space? Well, the short answer is Earth, because Earth already created gravity for us. But according to science, the bigger the mass and the closer we get to an object, the stronger its gravitational pull becomes. And that's why the moon is always in Earth's orbit, and similar to many satellites that we launch into space for GPS services. But now, how can we make gravity in space? And is it like even realistic? Because we cannot just turn it on like how we turn on the light. So how can we do it? Well, so I took some inspirations from lots of the sci-fi movies, such as Elysium, Interstellar, as well as Passengers, and all of these movies feature a spaceship or spaceships with rotating structures that supposedly generate gravity. And how do they do it? Well, let me show you. So it's quite simple. This involves what we call the centripetal force, which is the same force that keeps the water in the bucket when we swing the bucket in a full circle. So now let's imagine you as the water and the rotating spacecraft as the swinging bucket. And your feet will be firmly planted on the side of the giant wheel, which is the rotating spacecraft, and therefore simulating gravity. Even though I won't bore you with the calculation of centripetal force, I will tell you the normal gravitational pull on Earth, so we have a better context of how much gravity we have to generate in this rotating spacecraft. So the Earth has a gravity of around 9.8 meter per second squared. But why is it 9.8 meter per second squared and not just only 9.8 meter per second? Well, it's because 9.8 meter squared, 9.8 meter per second is a speed, and it is a constant speed. And gravity is not a speed; it's an acceleration of a thing. And in an acceleration, there are a change in speed, as well as a change in the unit of time. So speed alone is, of course, meter per second. But a change in speed will result in meter per second per second, because the speed is changing and the time is also changing. So it's so meter per second, or just meter per second square. Okay. Anyways, after all of those nonsense that I talked about, it is basically hard to generate gravity. But a rotating space station will do the job. So just like any determined scientist, I built a model of this design with stuff I can find in my house. But before showing my building montage, I will talk about another design that is theoretically. Now remember, theoretically will come up later. Spoiler alert. So this design is theoretically possible. It's actually a pretty original name for rocket that simulates gravity. It's called gravity rocket. Gravity rocket. Gravity rocket. Get it? It's pretty unique, right? Okay, whatever. Okay, so basically, instead of spinning the entire spacecraft, this design allows the astronauts to experience Earth-like gravity by pushing them onto the opposite direction where the actual rocket is going. So this rocket is going to feel like when we suddenly speed up our car and our body just pushes us back into the chair. Even though the car is going forward, we push back. The opposite of motion, the opposite motion. So by constantly accelerating at the first half of the journey and flipping the rocket during the second half of the journey, this design will succeed in creating artificial gravity. But the only issue that we know right now is with the fuel. It's just impossible to keep that much fuel, even with nuclear power. It's just not possible. We cannot just keep on pumping fuel. There's no gas station in space, so it's not doable for now. But it's not a bad idea. It's just that's not doable with nowadays technology. But who knows? We might be able to do it in the future. But for now, we can just stick to my rotating spacecraft design. Now, building montage! So if my calculation is correct, we can represent a person with one loonie in this structure, and it should theoretically allow the person to experience gravity. So by generating the centripetal force in my aircraft, I can have gravity. This penny will have gravity. So I'll put it in the slot here and let's spin it. And when it stops, when it slows down, the penny will drop. Look, it dropped. Where is it? Oh, it's here. It dropped when it slowed down. So let's try it again. Okay, so let's spin it. And this is fast. And what if I stop? Look, it falls off. So we did it. And thank you for watching and have a fantastically good day. Thanks. Peace.
Science is neat, but I'm afraid it's not very forgiving.